Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Check Me. If you've been watching and tuning in, I appreciate you. Once again, we're coming at you with another Overreaction Monday, or there's really nothing to overreact about, but a quick Monday. We're going to do some quick updates. Some things did go down this weekend, from the Pro Bowl to NBA trade deadline coming up this weekend, some head coach hirings, some head coach speculation that we have coming in that's new as well this morning too. So let's kind of hop right into it. I'll cover the Pro Bowl last because I think that's the one thing I'm probably the most frustrated about. But just some head coaching news. Mike McDaniel, the former 49ers offensive coordinator, is now the new Dolphins head coach. Interesting pick for them. He did play football at Yale, started his career off under Shanahan as an intern, and then, is well known for the offensive run game with the 49ers, which, to be honest with you, with Raheem Mostert and how they've used Deebo Samuel this year has been pretty impressive, to be honest, to say the least. So he's the head coach, the replacement for Brian Flores in Miami, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I still believe that whether they succeed or not, I still believe that Flores was the better person, the best person in that job, and with what he was working against, I don't think he should have lost that job. But we'll see what Mike McDaniel can do again. Once again, another head coach, offensive coordinator head coach that's not black. But in other coaching news, the Texans, who did fire David Culley, who was a black coach, are actually looking at Lovie Smith as their new head coach. So it'll be interesting to see what the Texans are going to do if they bring in Lovie Smith. If that will be big, especially in the situation that with Brian Flores coming out. But the Texans are talking to head coach Lovie Smith about the job. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out, especially after what happened with David Culley. I'm just kind of thinking of the mindset that Lovie Smith has a head coach with the tough defenses he's coached over the past couple of years. And one thing I think for any franchise to turn around, I think you have to start with the defense. And if you can play solid defense and have a decent offense, I think you can win quite a few games in the NFL that you're not supposed to. So it'll be interesting to see what if Lovie Smith is brought into the Texas head coach. Other news, coaching news, I'm not sure, not too much outside of that. I did want to talk about basketball real quick before I hop into the Pro Bowl. So I did want to talk about James Harden and Ben Simmons before a trade deadline. Of course, you guys saw LeVert get dealt to the Pacers. LeVert go to the Cavs. He's been shipped around for the past couple of years. Both Steve Nash and Doc Rivers said that the rumors are just rumors. Steve Nash said he's talked consistently with James Harden throughout the whole process and said that they are not trading him. He's going to be with the Nets. Now, he also said that James Harden has specifically said that he has no intentions of leaving. He's happy with the Nets. He did at some point raise some frustrations. But Steve Nash also said since the year even started, they talked about shipping James Harden because the idea that the media and the rumors put out is, hey, wouldn't it be cool if Ben Simmons traded for James Harden? Right, so a lot of stuff gets floated around. Doc Rivers said, you got to stop paying attention to the rumors. Now, I will say this disclaimer. I think the coaches are speaking on what they know. They don't know what's going to happen with this upcoming week. The trade deadline is Thursday. So these GMs may be able to pull off a deal. Some team may get desperate because they see an opportunity to develop or see an opportunity to, add to a team that can take them to the next level. So these GMs may whip something up, and these coaches may change their mind. So you don't know what can get thrown around in particular deals when it comes to NBA trade deadline. Now, I will say for the 76ers, Joel Embiid is carrying a heavy load for the Sixers, and really having another star power would help them out. I think Brooklyn is fine if they have Kyrie and if they have Kevin Durant, come back and he plays the way he's been playing. I think they'll be okay. James Harden on that squad just makes them unstoppable. If James Harden's healthy, they're all three healthy at the same exact time or playing the same exact time, that team can't be beat. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. But I don't expect the trade. I don't expect the Brooklyn Nets to trade Harden. I'm not sure about Ben Simmons. I think he's more shippable as a part of that when it comes to that situation. I also think that Ben Simmons wants to play, just not for Philly. And I agree with him 110%. We did him wrong. So that's what it is. So the last thing I want to talk about is the Pro Bowl, and I was really upset about this. I don't want to sound like one of those guys, I miss the old days. But come on, I miss the days when Sean Taylor, that one Pro Bowl, Sean Taylor came downhill and Brian Moore faked the punt, and Sean Taylor took his soul. He literally hit him, and I saw his soul float up, right? That is the Pro Bowl. We want to see the best players compete at the best. And I was really sick of watching the Pro Bowl and literally seeing these guys just playing touch football. They're playing touch football. The Pro Bowl, what they're doing is it's not football. It's not football. And I literally threw up when the reporters are trying to make something out of nothing. I understand. First of all, the NFL did so much wrong in this Pro Bowl saga. So let me go over what they did wrong. The first thing they did wrong was this. They took it from Hawaii. Took it away from Hawaii. Right? And I understand players don't want to get injured because they have contract. You can't have a Pro Bowl. You can't have a Pro Bowl. Because first of all, here's why you can't have a Pro Bowl. So I'll go back. You took it away from Hawaii. It being Hawaii was a staple of the Pro Bowl. Going to Hawaii, the athletes would bring their families. They go out there, have a good time. It was a good trip. That was the first thing. The second thing is this. The pro skills, the competitions they have now, are weak. The 40 dash was lackluster. Michael Parsons was the only one really running, and Nick Chubb ran one time. And then the whole event was just weak. The whole events leading up to were really just weak. Now you have the Pro Bowl game, and then no one's playing. We're playing touch football. It makes me sick to my stomach to think that they highlight the Pro Bowl so much. And, of course, all pro is more important than the Pro Bowl. They highlight the Pro Bowl so much, and literally the players go out there and play touch football. I want to see the best players compete and play the best. Literally, I'm watching the game. I'm watching the game. I'm thinking to myself, this is really not going to be like this for 4 quarters. It's not going to be this for 4 quarters. And the NFL literally has a nerve to say that to broadcast this and promote the game. Literally, it was not a football game. The NFL has to do something better with incentives to make the players play in the Pro Bowl. If not, don't have a Pro Bowl. Don't have a Pro Bowl. Don't have it. Don't have a Pro Bowl. I think they got the winning team got $80,000. That's chump change for them. There's got to be more incentives. Change the format. Look what the NBA did to make the All-Star game more fun. The NBA changed the format. They're smart and clever of how they did that. The NFL did not do that. And I literally threw up when I was watching the Pro Bowl and saw somebody run and then get touched. That's not football. It's not football. Roger Goodell should be ashamed of himself. You spend all that marketing money for them to play touch football. I don't know about y'all, but I will say this. I will never, ever watch another Pro Bowl event if I even think that's going to happen. If I even think that's going to happen. I don't care about Mac Jones doing the gritty in the end zone. I don't care about the pitches, Stephon Diggs and Trayvon Diggs, playing. I don't care. I want to see a football game with the best players. Give them incentives in the Super Bowl. Pay the players, NFL, pay the players. Give them more. Give them something. Because if not, we're going to get some watered-down game. That's literally Thursday practice when you're doing Wednesday, Thursday practice and you're just thudding. We're not trading paint out there. They're not trading paint. So literally, all I have to say is, watching the Pro Bowl, I was sick to my stomach. I threw up. I literally thought to myself, what is the NFL doing? What are the players doing? And I can't fault the players because I understand the way contract negotiations are in the NFL. They're just out of sync, right? You're playing for your net. Some players don't even play. Hey, I don't want to risk it. And the fact that I was in Vegas, imagine Imagine literally say I'm going to Vegas for the Pro Bowl and then literally being like a flight home, and it's nothing to stay for. There's nothing to stay for in Vegas. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk too much about the Kamara situation and him getting arrested, but that's what you're going to get when you get in Vegas. You're setting the players up for failure, and I don't like it. And I think that we can't get mad at the players. We have to get mad at the NFL. They have to do something, or else the Pro Bowl is just going to be weak. All right, you got to do something. Incentives, maybe an NFL pays you on a contract bonus. Maybe up the purse to maybe $2-3 million for something more for each player per team. But come on, NFL, that's real cheap. I know you were pissed off. I was pissed off. We were all pissed off watching the Pro Bowl. And just like you, I don't want to ever see a Pro Bowl like that ever again. All right, so I think I talked enough about the Pro Bowl, but it just pissed me off. Or it upset me to see that happening, and that wasn't a football game. That was flag. That wasn't a football game. That was glorified flag football. Simply, that's all it was. And of course, Kirk Cousins threw a pick. Russell Wilson, I don't know what he was doing out there. He looked awful. He looked awful all year. I'll get on Russell Wilson as well too. Y'all don't want to talk. Y'all don't want me to talk about that. But Russell Wilson, ever since the Legion of Boom left, what has Russell Wilson done? So I'm not going to say too much about that. The last thing I did want to cover, and I talked about the Pro Bowl, was Alvin Kamara and getting arrested and setting the players up for failure. You're putting them in a situation where they're in Bettown, NFL, of the world, Gambletown, NFL, of the world, Gambletown, they're in Gambletown of the world, and you're putting them in a situation where they can be invited to trouble. And it sucks because, it doesn't say it sucks, but it's tough as an athlete, right? Because people put you on a standard, and people put a standard on your life, and people will hold you to a higher standard in NFL when you play an athletic sport. And even if you do something small or minimal, right, you're judged. And the very first thing as an NFL player, when something happens to you, the players look at what you did wrong and immediately judge you based off of one situation. And when players do well and they do something well, it's hardly ever broadcast. The NFL has to throw that content out there. But you can literally get a speeding ticket, and somehow it may end up on the news. Just like you and people around you, some coworkers who are this, our laundry list of mistakes that we make are not aired out like them. And I don't feel like they deserve to have their laundry list of things they do out like that, unless it's really something like if the claims are true on the Deshaun Watson case, that situation. That's huge, right? And you have to investigate it. You have to investigate, see what happened, and then in the court alone come to a conclusion on it. But these small things like this, we always want to castrate these players. We want to destroy these players when they mess up. And I think as a true fan of the sport, someone who loves football, who breathes football, when a player messes up, I don't think to myself, oh, they need to be punished, right? Because that's a lot of people. Some of my friends, they send me content when a player messes up and say, "I told you so." That's not the type of mindset or heart you got to have. I always think to myself, man, I wish, in that situation, and it's anybody, I wish in that situation they could have got help. I really think the NFL, and maybe it's the NFLPA, Players Association, needs to do more when it comes to truly educating these players. I know they do a lot, but do more, and throughout the whole season, to educating the players on conduct. But also, you have to understand with the oppression, some of these players, a seminar, a mentor, all these things, some of these things, and sometimes the mentors are good, mentors aren't even good. Some of these things aren't enough. And I think the NFLPA, especially for some of the black players who come from broken homes, come from oppression, not depression, but oppression, and I think they need a lot of education on how to go about handling business, how to associate yourself. And there are some platforms out there that are showing them that, but right now with this Alvin Kamara situation, it sucks, right? And if you look at what happened in Vegas this year, and you look at what happened in Vegas ever since they moved the franchise, it's just been turmoil. So I don't think that it's good to have a franchise in the city, especially football. I just think there's so many things that they can get in trouble with, and I don't like the dynamic of the Pro Bowl being there, and instead of it being like a family event, now it's a pretty much a singles event where most of the players are I hate to say it, like are positioned to get in trouble. So it's the last game of the season for these guys, and they're not. They're just ready to have a good time, which is fine. Hey, look, if that's what you do, have a good time, have a good time. But in the worst city where things can happen, it sucks. So I hope the situation with Alvin Kamara gets sorted out. I hope whoever's in the situation, I pray for both of them. Whoever he put his hands on, but it just sucks that the Pro Bowls in this game and in the city and they're prone to this. So. So that's pretty much it on the Pro Bowl. We got some big NBA games coming next week. Come up this week. We got the Lakers playing this week and the Super Bowl. I don't want to cover too much on the Super Bowl. There's so much to unravel with what's going on, the updates and whatnot, and the players playing. The Rams playing. And I actually tweeted this out, believe it or not. If Sean McVay doesn't win the Super Bowl this year, they got to start looking at getting a new coach. Sean McVay, since he's been in the NFL, has been equipped with everything he needed to be successful. Just like his offense. Right? Cooper Kupp is equipped with everything he needed to be successful. Sean McVay, since he's been in the NFL, has had everything that he needed to be successful. And that's year over year. Right? When you come in, you have golf, right? We found out golf was trash, but he got the job done. He got to the Super Bowl. He got the Super Bowl with golf, right? You're the best defensive line in sports. You're the best defensive line in sports. You're the best defensive player in sports. You're the best defensive back in sports. You have one of the best defensive ends in sports. You have the best receiver in sports. You have one of the best receivers in the sport. You have a solid running back, and you have a Hall of Fame quarterback. Potential, but Hall of Fame quarterback. Sean McVay has everything he needs to win a Super Bowl. If he doesn't win a Super Bowl, then it's about that time to ship him. Ship Shanahan, all these prodigy coaches, Shanahan, LaFleur, Anderson, LaFleur, Anderson, McVay, and I forgot there's one more in that bunch. Kyle Anderson. Like it's about time for them. Oh, who is it? Who's the guy? And Kyle Anderson and Cliff Kingsbury and Arizona. It's time to ship them boys out. The idea of wanting them to be great and wanting to be good coaches was set in place with whoever. And I think that the NFL wants these guys to do well. They love to show them a picture of McVay, LaFleur, and Shanahan all in the same. With the Redskins, with Washington and whatnot, and like they want them to be good. And right now, all I've seen out of all of them is having other than I think Shanahan has done the best job with all the coaches, simply because he wasn't equipped with the Kyler Murray or DeAndre Hopkins or J.J. Watt or at the time a Honey Badger. He wasn't equipped with a Larry Fitzgerald or A.J. Green. He wasn't equipped with the Aaron Rodgers or Devontae Adams or a solid defense. He wasn't equipped with arguably the best team assembled, one of the best teams assembled in football. He wasn't equipped with all that. And I think that a lot of what Kyle Shanahan did, he's got out of the mud compared to those other coaches. But as you see, he always gets beat. He's making it to the NFC Championship game, but he's getting smacked around. But he's doing it. So in the Super Bowl. I'm sorry, Kyle Shanahan in the Super Bowl. So I think Sean McVay has to win the Super Bowl this year. On the Bengals side, they have nothing to lose. All right, the Bengals have nothing to lose. It was already a win when they won the AFC North. It was already a win for the Bengals. Right, everything they do, the divisional round, the conference championship, everything that the Bengals do from here on out is a win. Because they're going to walk away from this season already winning because they made the playoffs. All right, and that's something that they did with a second-year quarterback coming off of ACL, 3 number 1 receivers, and you also all-pro running back should be Joe Mixon, all-pro running back, and then you also have okay defense, but you have the nucleus of players on defense you need to win the game and experience. So that Cincinnati Bengals team is playing with like they have nothing to lose. So it'll be interesting to see how things play out. As an Eagles fan, watching from the sidelines, it's I think that when I think of the playoffs and how I think things should have played out and how I want them to play out, right? So when we watch sports, we have this mindset of things, how we want things to play out and how they should play out and actually how they play out. What I mean by that is, for example, I wanted the Eagles to beat Tampa Bay. I wanted Philly to beat Tampa Bay. I'm an Eagles fan. I wanted to beat Tampa Bay. How it should have played out is we should have lost. How it did play out is we lost, right? I was prepared and ready for that. Tampa Bay should have lost to Los Angeles, right? But I think most people wanted them to win against Los Angeles, and I think that was something where people were conflicted. It's Tom Brady to go, right? Versus the team that's had pretty much had their number for the past couple of years, right? And then we look at Green Bay. Green Bay wasn't supposed to lose, but we found out Green Bay was fraud all year. Like what we wanted, what the NFL wanted was this. This is what the NFL wanted. The NFL wanted. They actually got a Mahomes Allen, divisional round. What they wanted was a Packers. They wanted a Brady Rodgers NFC Championship game. That's what they wanted. What they got was Garoppolo and Stafford, which isn't like it doesn't sound as marketable, but I will say that it was the stories behind these players were intriguing enough that if you really love football, you're watching the game, like Garoppolo. He makes it back to a second Super Bowl. Do you still get rid of him after this year? Stafford. This is his first true. When's his first playoff game? Odell Beckham Jr. First Super Bowl. First one playoff game. Aaron Donald's back again. Von Miller's looking for a second Super Bowl. So I think the way there's stories behind it in the Super Bowl that we want to see, that we were excited to see. I'm sorry, in that NFC Championship game that we wanted to see. Deebo Samuel, the Swiss Army knife of all Swiss Army knives. So I going back to McDaniel. I'll add to that point, but McDaniel does have plans with Lynn Bowden and Jalen Waddle. I don't know if they're going to use them the same type of offense like Deebo Samuel, but it's interesting to see. I'll take a close look at how Lynn Bowden and Waddle are using that offense. But the Super Bowl there's a lot of stories. We're going to see a lot of those stories come out this week. It's going to be cool to check and see how Von Miller comes back. Joe Burrow. We're hyping up Joe Burrow again. We're going to see what happens with Joe Burrow and talking with him, seeing how he plays this week out, and also in the Super Bowl. Very confident guy. I don't want to say arrogant, but very confident guy. Calm down with the confidence. Sometimes you get too confident, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm not going to talk too much off-season football. But that's pretty much it for Check Me today. We talked about quite a bit, and once again, I'm sick of the Pro Bowl. I know you're sick of it. Literally, I wanted to run through a wall when I was watching the Pro Bowl because it's like, wow, we're really sitting here watching them, play, backyard football and two-hand touch. So, hey, look, but thank you guys for tuning in for Check Me. If you're watching, continue to watch. Subscribe. If you want to see anything, DM me, right? It's 2022. DM me on Instagram. Shoot me a message on Instagram, and I'll respond back. I got some people coming on the show up in the next couple of weeks, so I'll talk about that, and some of the things we're going to talk about. Some football players coming on as well too. So please tune in, subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. Hey, look, enjoy your Monday. I'm out.